That weed you sprayed last weekend? A fancy restaurant in New York City just paid $18 per pound for the exact same plant. The one growing in your driveway cracks right now contains more omega-3 fatty acids than the $35 fish oil supplement sitting in your medicine cabinet. And that annoying plant spreading across your backyard? It has more complete protein than the $12 bag of quinoa you bought at Whole Foods. Today, everything you thought you knew about weeds ends. Because what I'm about to show you will change how you see your yard forever. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button right now. I'm about to reveal 7 common weeds that are actually expensive superfoods, plants you've been killing while spending hundreds of dollars at health food stores. Subscribe so you never miss these money-saving gardening secrets. Now let's get started. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which weeds replace your expensive supplements, which one heals cuts and insect bites better than anything in your first aid kit, and which plant the United Nations says could feed the world's future. These 7 weeds grow across the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom, and you've been walking past them your entire life. Let's dive straight in. And weed number 7? The United Nations declared it the crop that could feed the world's future. It produces 100,000 edible seeds per plant, yet most people pull it from their driveways thinking it's worthless. Let's start with weed number 1, Purslane. You've been paying $30 every month for omega-3 supplements while the richest plant source of omega-3 fatty acids on Earth grows between your driveway cracks. Purslane. This succulent little plant is about to save you serious money. Purslane has thick, paddle-shaped leaves and reddish stems that sprawl low to the ground. It grows in sidewalk cracks, gravel driveways, and compacted soil across zones 3 through 11, from Minnesota to Texas to Florida. You'll find it from late May through September across North America. Purslane contains more omega-3 fatty acids than any leafy vegetable on Earth, 4 times more than spinach. While you're spending $30 to $40 monthly on fish oil capsules, this plant makes the same essential fats for free. 1 cup of raw purslane gives you 73% of your daily vitamin A, more vitamin E than spinach, more beta-carotene than carrots, plus magnesium, potassium, calcium, and iron. High-end restaurants in New York, Los Angeles, and San Francisco charge $15 to $20 extra for dishes featuring purslane as a specialty green. Meanwhile, it grows wild in parking lots. The taste is crisp, refreshing, and slightly lemony, perfect for salads or sautéing like spinach. Mediterranean countries have eaten purslane as a staple vegetable for over 2,000 years. Chinese medicine used it for cooling blood. Middle Eastern healers treated digestive issues with it. Native American tribes ate it as a spring tonic. Modern research confirms these traditional uses. Purslane contains powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. Harvest by pinching stems, leaving 2 inches so it regrows. Wash thoroughly. Eat the stems, leaves, flowers, and seeds. The ultimate irony, one of nature's most nutritionally complete plants is so common that garden centers sell herbicides specifically targeting it. Before you spray another weed killer, check if that succulent with thick leaves is purslane. You might be killing free omega-3s and vitamins. Weed number 2, lamb's quarters. Meet the wild plant that makes expensive organic spinach look pathetic. Lamb's quarters delivers more calcium than milk, more vitamin C than oranges, and complete protein your body can't make on its own. And it's growing in your garden edges right now. Lamb's quarters has diamond-shaped leaves with a silvery white powder coating. That's not dirt, it's concentrated mineral salts. The leaves have toothed edges and grow on upright stems 2 to 5 feet tall. You'll find it in disturbed soil, garden borders, and empty lots across zones 3 through 10 throughout the United States, Canada, and the UK. It grows from spring through fall. Native American tribes relied on lamb's quarters as a staple food crop for thousands of years before corn became dominant. They understood what nutritional science now confirms. 1 cup of fresh leaves delivers 324 milligrams of calcium and 96% of your daily vitamin C requirement. That's more calcium than most dairy products and more vitamin C than citrus fruits. Lamb's quarters contains all 8 essential amino acids your body cannot produce. This weed delivers complete protein, something most vegetables can't match. It's exceptionally high in iron for anemic conditions and increasing blood cell count. Young leaves taste mild and tender, better than spinach. Older leaves develop robust, earthy flavor, perfect for cooking. Unlike spinach that bolts in heat and turns bitter, lamb's quarters stays tender well into summer. The seeds forming in late summer are edible and nutritious, similar to quinoa, which is actually a close relative. One plant produces thousands of tiny seeds you can harvest, grind into flour, or cook like grain. Free quinoa, growing wild. Health food stores sell ancient grains and super greens for $8 to $12 per pound. Lamb's quarters grows as an aggressive weed in every disturbed patch of soil, offering superior nutrition for zero cost. That white powder on the leaves? Pure mineral content pulled from deep soil, concentrated nutrients. Harvest young leaves for salads or cook older leaves like spinach. Collect seeds in late summer when flower heads turn brown and dry. This plant simultaneously feeds you and shows you where soil is fertile enough for future gardens. If you are loving this video, hit the subscribe button to support us. Weed 3. Dandelion. Americans spend $2 billion every year trying to kill a plant that health food stores sell for $8 to $12 per bunch. Every single part of the dandelion is edible and medicinal, yet most people see only a lawn invader destroying their perfect grass. Those bright yellow flowers mocking your manicured lawn? Edible treasures. The jagged leaves, packed with more iron than spinach and massive amounts of vitamins A, C, and K. The roots? They hold dandelion's most potent medicine that pharmaceutical companies extract for expensive liver supplements. Dandelions grow across zones 3 through 10 throughout the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. You'll find them in lawns, roadsides, fields, and anywhere soil gets regular disturbance. They bloom from early spring through late fall, with peak flowering in April and May. Here's what makes dandelions valuable. The roots are one of nature's most effective liver detoxifiers. For centuries, herbalists used dandelion root for liver support and digestive health. Modern research validates these traditional uses, finding compounds that support liver function, aid digestion, and help eliminate toxins. Liver support supplements containing dandelion extract cost $20 to $40 per bottle, yet the source grows free in most yards. Those bitter compounds that make dandelion leaves challenging to eat raw, they're precisely what make them medicinally valuable. These bitter principles stimulate digestive function, increase bile production, and support metabolic processes. You absolutely cannot get these effects from mild, cultivated greens. Young dandelion leaves are mild and work beautifully in salads, especially mixed with sweeter greens. Older leaves become more bitter, perfect for sautéing with garlic or adding to soups. The flowers make incredible jelly, wine, and fritters. The roots can be roasted and ground as a coffee substitute, something Europeans have been doing for generations. Early European settlers intentionally brought dandelion seeds to America because they valued it as essential medicine and food. The plant was so important that colonists couldn't imagine a homestead without it. Somewhere along the way, Americans forgot and started spending billions trying to eradicate what ancestors treasured. Think about this. You can buy dandelion supplements for joint inflammation, skin health, and digestive support. Or step outside and harvest the real thing growing by your mailbox. The pharmaceutical version is processed, expensive, and weak. The fresh version is free, potent, and growing everywhere. Harvest young leaves in early spring before flowers appear. They're mildest then. Dig roots in fall when they're most concentrated with medicinal compounds. Pick flowers when fully open on sunny days. Wash everything thoroughly. Every part you harvest is money saved and health gained. Pause for 1 second. If you're realizing you've been spraying free superfoods, hit that like button right now and drop a comment telling me which weed shocked you most so far. Purslane's omega-3s, lamb's quarters complete protein, or Dandelion's $2 billion irony. I'm reading every single comment because this community is about reclaiming knowledge the food industry doesn't want you to have. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now, because we're about to reveal the weed that works as nature's living bandage, healing cuts and insect bites better than anything from your first aid kit. Let's keep going. Weed 4. Plantain. This plant could replace your entire medicine cabinet. Plantain, with distinctive ribbed leaves arranged in ground-hugging rosettes, grows in compacted soil where nothing else survives. Yet it's nature's bandage with remarkable healing properties that outperform expensive first aid products. Plantain leaves have parallel veins running from base to tip in an oval rosette pattern. You'll find both broadleaf and narrowleaf varieties. Both share the same beneficial properties. Plantain grows in lawns, parking lots, pathways, and heavily trampled areas across zones 3 through 10 throughout North America and the United Kingdom. It's available from spring through fall and sometimes stays green through mild winters. Here's what makes plantain extraordinary. Crush a fresh leaf and apply it directly to cuts, scrapes, insect bites, or bee stings. The leaf contains allantoin and alkabin, compounds that reduce inflammation, stop bleeding, and accelerate healing. This simple treatment often outperforms antiseptic creams, antibiotic ointments, and expensive wound care products. Survival experts and wilderness guides teach plantain as the #1 emergency first aid plant. If you're hiking and get stung by a bee, bitten by a mosquito, or cut by a rock, plantain is your instant relief. Indigenous peoples called it white man's footprint because it appeared wherever European settlers traveled, offering healing wherever humans went. Beyond external medicine, young plantain leaves are edible with a slightly bitter spinach-like flavor when cooked. The seeds forming on those distinctive tall spikes are rich in fiber and work exactly like psyllium husk for digestive health, the same fiber supplement costing $15 to $20 in processed form. Plantain's ability to thrive in compacted soil isn't weakness, it's specialized adaptation. This plant concentrates healing compounds as protection against harsh conditions. That resilience translates directly to medicinal potency. Stressed plants produce stronger medicine. You can spend $8 on a tube of antibiotic ointment that expires in 2 years and contains synthetic chemicals, or step outside to your lawn and access fresh, potent medicine that's been healing humans for thousands of years. The fresh version works better, costs nothing, and never expires. Harvest leaves any time during the growing season. Younger leaves are more tender for eating. Mature leaves have stronger medicinal properties. Crush fresh for immediate wound treatment or dry leaves for long-term storage in your natural first aid kit. Weed 5. Chickweed. While you're paying $12 for organic microgreens at Whole Foods, this insignificant weed with tiny star-like white flowers is literally growing protein in your lawn edges. And it keeps producing fresh food even when buried under snow. Chickweed has small oval leaves on delicate stems with distinctive white flowers that look like tiny stars. Each petal is deeply split, appearing as 10 petals instead of 5. It forms dense, low-growing mats in shaded, moist areas. You'll find chickweed in garden edges, under trees, along foundations, and anywhere grass thins out across zones 3 through 10. It grows spring through fall and survives winter in many areas. Chickweed contains more complete protein than most leafy greens you can buy. We're talking all essential amino acids in a plant most people step on without thinking twice. That mild, slightly sweet taste hiding in those tiny leaves, it's nature's perfect salad base that never bolts or turns bitter. But chickweed's real superpower is winter survival. While your expensive lettuce dies at the first frost, chickweed keeps growing fresh, vitamin C-packed leaves under ice and snow. Survival experts teach this as the winter insurance policy plant, because when everything else is dead, chickweed is still producing food. 1 cup of fresh chickweed delivers significant vitamin C, vitamin A, calcium, magnesium, and iron. The mild flavor works raw in salads, blended in smoothies, or lightly cooked in soups and stir-fries. Traditional herbalists use chickweed for skin conditions, joint inflammation, and digestive health. Here's the irony. You can buy chickweed supplements for joint inflammation and skin health, or just step outside and harvest the real thing growing in that shaded patch by your mailbox. Traditional healers used fresh chickweed as living bandages for wounds, and modern research proves those anti-inflammatory compounds actually work. Harvest by cutting stems with scissors. The entire above-ground plant is edible. Rinse thoroughly because it grows low to the ground. Use fresh for maximum nutrition or dry for teas and medicinal preparations. Chickweed regenerates quickly after harvesting, giving you multiple cuttings throughout the season. The plant most people consider insignificant lawn cleaner is actually providing complete protein, year-round availability, and medicinal compounds that supplement companies charge premium prices for. That's 3 weeds down that replace expensive supplements. But wait until you see weeds 6 and 7, because one delivers more vitamin C than oranges with a lemony punch chefs pay extra for, and the other was declared by the United Nations as the crop that could feed the world's future. Weed 6. Wood Sorrel. Forget expensive lemon juice. This heart-shaped clover delivers more vitamin C than oranges while providing that perfect sour punch that celebrity chefs charge extra for. And you've been walking past it your entire life. Wood sorrel looks like a delicate shamrock with heart-shaped leaves, but it's not clover at all. Those tiny yellow or pink flowers and distinctive 3-part leaves fold up at night like they're protecting something valuable. They are. This plant saved entire ships from scurvy when sailors had no access to citrus. Wood sorrel grows across zones 4 through 9 throughout the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. You'll find it in shaded areas, garden edges, under decks, sidewalk cracks, and anywhere grass struggles. It thrives spring through fall, preferring partial shade and moist conditions. Wood sorrel's secret weapon is oxalic acid, the same compound that makes rhubarb tangy and that gourmet restaurants extract at tremendous cost. 1 handful of fresh wood sorrel provides more vitamin C than your morning orange juice, with a lemony zing that transforms boring salads into restaurant-quality dishes instantly. The taste sits perfectly between apple skin, grape, and lemon, bright, tangy, and refreshing. You can eat leaves, flowers, and stems raw in salads, blend them into smoothies, make them into soup, or use them in fish sauces where lemon would be too harsh. High-end chefs in New York, San Francisco, and London garnish $40 entrees with this weed. Native Americans called wood sorrel their spring tonic after long winters because it's one of the first vitamin C-rich plants to emerge. They understood centuries ago what nutritional science proves now. This plant prevents scurvy, boosts immune function, and provides antioxidants when other fresh foods are scarce. Here's what's crazy. Wood sorrel preserves its vitamin C better than most store-bought produce. Those oxalic acids act like natural preservatives, keeping nutrients fresh longer than expensive supplements sitting in your cabinet for months. The plant packages its medicine perfectly. Wood sorrel grows so commonly that most people assume it's decorative clover and ignore it completely. Meanwhile, restaurants cultivate it in expensive hydroponic systems and charge premium prices for garnishes. One note, Wood sorrel contains oxalic acid, which is also in spinach and broccoli. It's not a problem when consumed moderately with a varied diet, but people with kidney stones or gout should enjoy it sparingly. Harvest by pinching stems and leaves. The entire above-ground plant is edible. Rinse gently. Use fresh for maximum vitamin C content or add to recipes requiring citrus flavor. A handful goes a long way because the flavor is concentrated and potent. That's 6 weeds that replace expensive supplements, medicines, and specialty ingredients. But weed number 7 is the most impressive of all because the United Nations declared it the crop that could feed the world's future. And you've been pulling it from your driveway thinking it's just another nuisance. Weed 7. Amaranth. The United Nations declared this tall weed the crop that could feed the world's future, while you've probably been pulling it from your driveway thinking it's just another nuisance. Plot twist. Each amaranth plant produces 100,000 edible seeds with more complete protein than quinoa. This isn't a weed. It's a personal grain elevator growing without your help. Amaranth grows 3 to 6 feet tall with striking burgundy, red, or gold seed heads that cascade downward like fountains. The leaves are often green with red veining, and the entire plant is unmistakably architectural and dramatic. You'll find it in disturbed soil, garden edges, roadsides, and empty lots across zones 2 through 11 throughout North America. It grows from late spring through fall, with seeds maturing in late summer and early fall. The Aztecs built an empire on amaranth. They traded it like gold, used it in sacred ceremonies, and relied on it as a primary food source for their civilization. They knew what we forgot. This plant is basically wheat that grows without any help, delivers complete protein, and thrives in conditions that kill conventional crops. Here's what makes amaranth exceptional. Both the leaves and the seeds are superfoods. Young amaranth leaves taste like spinach, but pack twice the protein. As they mature, those dramatic flower heads become seed factories, producing tiny powerhouses containing all 9 essential amino acids, complete protein that rivals meat. One single amaranth plant can feed a family for weeks. Those 100,000 seeds per plant aren't an exaggeration. They're documented agricultural fact. The tiny seeds can be popped like miniature popcorn, ground into flour for baking, cooked as a grain like rice, or sprouted for even higher nutrition. They're nutty, slightly sweet, and incredibly versatile. Amaranth seeds are 13 to 14% protein with exceptional lysine content, an amino acid often lacking in plant-based diets. They're also rich in calcium, iron, magnesium, phosphorus, and potassium. The leaves contain vitamins A and C along with minerals. You're getting complete nutrition from a plant most people consider invasive. The United Nations and multiple agricultural organizations identified amaranth as a critical crop for addressing global food insecurity because it thrives in drought, heat, and poor soil where conventional grains fail. It requires no irrigation, no fertilizer, no pesticides. It just grows. This is why the Aztecs relied on it. This is why it's considered a future-proof crop. Here's the ultimate irony. Health food stores sell amaranth for $8 to $12 a pound, marketing it as an exotic, ancient green from South America. Meanwhile, the exact same species is growing in the abandoned lot behind your local grocery store, producing pounds of superfood that most people see as an eyesore worth eradicating. Harvest amaranth by cutting the seed heads when they're dry and brittle, then shaking them over a bucket or sheet. The tiny seeds fall out easily. Remove the chaff, and you have free, complete protein grain that stores for years. The leaves can be harvested young and tender for fresh salads or cooked like any leafy green. Remember at the beginning when I said number 7 was declared a crop that could feed the world's future? Now you know why. Amaranth represents everything we've lost: free food, complete nutrition, zero maintenance, and historical validation spanning thousands of years. The Aztecs knew. We forgot. Now you remember. So which weed surprised you most? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I want to know if it was Purslane's omega-3s, Dandelion's $2 billion irony, Plantain's healing power, or Amaranth's 100,000 seeds. I'm reading every comment. And hit that like button if you're never looking at your yard the same way again. Share this video with anyone who's been wasting money on supplements while killing free superfoods. We're building a community that refuses to forget what our ancestors knew. If you haven't subscribed, do it now so you never miss our weekly videos revealing the hidden value in plants everyone else ignores. Now let's talk about what you need to do next. Because knowing these 7 weeds exist is worthless unless you actually start using them. Step 1. Identification matters. Before you eat any wild plant, you need to be absolutely certain of what you're harvesting. Purslane with its thick, succulent leaves and reddish stems is hard to mistake. Dandelion with its jagged leaves and yellow flowers is unmistakable. Plantain's parallel veined leaves in rosettes are distinctive. But some plants have toxic lookalikes, so take your time learning proper identification. Start with just one weed. Pick the easiest one growing in your yard right now. If you've got dandelions, start there. They're impossible to misidentify. If purslane is sprawling in your driveway cracks, begin with that. Don't overwhelm yourself trying to learn all 7 at once. Master one, use it regularly, then add the next. Step 2. Start small with your harvesting. Don't rip out every purslane plant in your yard on day 1. Harvest a handful, wash it thoroughly, taste it raw, see how your body responds. Most people tolerate these plants beautifully because humans have eaten them for thousands of years. But introducing new foods gradually is always smart, especially if you have food sensitivities. When you harvest, take only what you'll use immediately. These plants are most nutritious when fresh. Dandelion leaves taste best in early spring before the plant flowers. Purslane is most tender in early summer. Chickweed stays mild and productive spring through fall. Learn the seasonal rhythms of each plant. Step 3. Proper washing is critical. These plants grow low to the ground where soil splashes onto leaves during rain. Rinse everything multiple times under running water. For plants like chickweed and purslane that grow in dense mats, separate the stems and rinse thoroughly. A salad spinner works perfectly for removing excess water after washing. Step 4. Start with the mildest uses. If you're nervous about eating weeds, begin with the gentlest applications. Make dandelion tea instead of eating raw leaves. Sauté lamb's quarters with garlic like spinach instead of adding it raw to salads. Cooking takes the edge off bitter compounds and makes wild plants more approachable for beginners. As you gain confidence, you'll start eating these plants raw, adding them to smoothies, using them as primary salad greens, and incorporating them into your regular cooking rotation. But there's no rush. Start where you're comfortable. Here's what matters most. Stop spraying. If you've been using herbicides on your lawn, you need to stop immediately. You cannot eat plants that have been exposed to chemicals designed to kill them. Let your yard transition to chemical-free for at least 1 full growing season before harvesting anything for food. This transition period is actually beneficial. You'll watch these so-called weeds establish themselves. You'll see where purslane prefers to grow. You'll notice which areas produce the most tender lamb's quarters. You'll observe chickweed thriving in shaded spots where grass struggles. This observation period teaches you about your yard's unique ecosystem. A word about lawns. The perfect American lawn is a modern invention that costs billions of dollars annually to maintain, requires toxic chemicals, wastes massive amounts of water, and produces nothing useful. Meanwhile, a yard full of dandelions, clover, plantain, and chickweed requires zero maintenance, needs no chemicals, thrives on rainfall alone, and produces free food and medicine all season long. You don't have to choose between a perfect lawn and a wild jungle. Many people maintain mowed pathways and entertaining areas while allowing sections of their yard to grow more freely. The weeds and unmowed sections grow taller, produce more abundant harvests, and support pollinators with their flowers. The mowed areas stay neat for human use. Everybody wins. Consider this your permission to stop fighting your yard. Stop spending money on herbicides. Stop wasting weekends spraying chemicals. Stop viewing every plant you didn't personally install as an enemy. Start seeing your yard as a grocery store and pharmacy that restocks itself for free every single season. The 7 weeds we covered today, Purslane, lamb's quarters, dandelion, plantain, chickweed, wood sorrel, and amaranth, represent just the beginning. There are dozens more edible and medicinal plants growing wild across North America. Once you start looking at your yard through this new lens, you'll never see it the same way again. Your ancestors knew these plants intimately. They relied on them for nutrition during lean times, for medicine when doctors were unavailable, for supplements when store-bought options didn't exist. This knowledge sustained humanity for millennia. We're simply remembering what we temporarily forgot. Every dollar you don't spend on omega-3 supplements is money saved because you harvested Purslane. Every liver detox product you don't buy is money saved because you dug dandelion roots. Every expensive superfood powder that stays on the shelf is money saved because you recognize the superfoods already growing outside your door. This isn't about deprivation or hardship. This is about abundance, freedom, and reclaiming power over your own nutrition and health. These 7 weeds are literally offering you free food and medicine every single day. All you have to do is stop killing them and start harvesting them. So here's what I want you to do right now. Go outside after watching this video. Look at your yard with new eyes. Find just one of these 7 weeds. Identify it properly, harvest a small amount, wash it thoroughly, and taste it. That single action will change everything. Then come back and tell me which weed you tried first. Drop it in the comments. I'm reading every single one, and I want to celebrate your first wild harvest with you. If this video changed how you see your yard, hit that like button. Share this with your friends, your family, your neighbors, anyone who's been spending money on supplements while spraying superfoods. We're building a movement of people who refuse to forget what our grandparents knew. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our weekly videos. Next week, I'm revealing the vegetables that regrow from kitchen scraps infinitely. Free food that never stops producing. You won't want to miss it. This is your yard. This is your food. This is your medicine. Stop paying corporations for what nature provides free. Now go outside and see the grocery store that's been there all along.